So, welcome everybody to the webinar. This is a part series. Oh, and there's Leila again. Hopefully, this will work this time. So, welcome everybody. Webinar. It's target markets and niche marketing. And this is a three-part series on finding your niche and developing a bit more of a concentrated marketing strategy. Before we start, this session wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Oracle RMS and Daniel Italiano sponsoring this, and also the Bond Business Enterprise Center being behind it as well. So I just want to acknowledge Daniel and just Daniel, want to say a couple of words and welcome everybody, Daniel and Lindsay. Lindsay's with the Business Enterprise Center, the VBAC. Welcome, Pamela, to the course. And Daniel's a commercial insurance broker with Oracle RMS, and he specializes in insurance for small and medium-sized businesses. And he's been in business since 2011. And having worked with Daniel in the past, this guy knows his stuff, and he's really kind and caring. Really nice to see in the business world. So Daniel, do you want to just welcome and say a couple of words?
Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hopefully you get some good information out of what David's going to preach this morning, and will hopefully help you attract more clients in the space that you're interested in.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And Lindsay, welcome to you this morning. Just want to share what's going on at the Bond Business Enterprise Center and what you're working on.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. My name is Lindsay, and I'm the Small Business Advisor at Bond Business Enterprise Center. I'm really happy to have David and Daniel from our Oracle RMS come together to give this webinar, and hopefully you get a lot out of it. I know we talk a lot in our consultations about niche marketing, so it's a really important topic. Just a couple of things. If you aren't already, I encourage everyone attending to join Bond Business Cafe. So it's a free online networking platform that helps connect you with other people in the Bond business community. So if you go to vaughan.ca/businesscafe, BUSINESSCAFE. It'll have more information on it. And then just to let everyone know, our Bond Business Expo is happening in February 2020, so February 11th. And we're going live with registration today. So if you go to bondbusiness.eventbrite.com, where you registered for today, there will be more information up there, as well as on our website, vaughan.ca/business-events.
Yeah, and that's a really nice event, and kind of a little bit serendipitous. That's how I met Daniel.
Oh.
At that event, right, Daniel? So it was kind of cool. So I want to welcome Paula and Ann and Leanne and S. Vassal and Layla. Hopefully you're okay now, and Pamela. Welcome to you all. And let's get started. This is a three-part series that we're doing, and I'm really quite excited about this. So in the next 3 weeks, we're going to look into why you need a niche and why you need to consider having a niche marketing strategy. We'll talk a little marketing. We'll talk about developing who your ideal client profile is, really knowing your stuff, knowing your industry, tips on how to differentiate yourself, and how having a niche market strategy can really pay big dividends. And it can be a little scary, because I've taught this session a few times, and one of the big fears, and welcome Siobhan too, and Hannah as well. One of the big fears is, yeah, but if I niche, does that mean I can't do business with everybody? And in a way, yes. And I'm here to assure you not to be scared by that, because sometimes you spread yourself way too thin and you're all over the map, and that strategy doesn't really work. It can lead to a little bit of burnout and a lot more work and effort. And we'll see today why having a niche market strategy is really to your benefit not only to your business and your bottom line, but also to your personal health too. So we're going to look at why targeting today, various targets, power of a niche, case studies. This is what we're going to do over the next few weeks. So one of the things to really keep in mind that, you know, in order to market your product and service, it's really imperative that you do tailor your marketing and sales efforts to reach a segment of the population that's most likely going to buy what you've got. And you got to kind of figure that out. Who's going to be my ideal client? So that you can use your time, your energy, and your funds, your money more effectively. So it's really important to start to think like as maybe as you get into the new year and you want to start to maybe recalibrate how you do business. You know, you got to know who your customers are, right? So you really have to be really mindful of who do I want to call on? Who needs what I have? Um, who is a good client for me? What's that good client profile? You know, do they call you back? Do they value you? Do they, you know, trust you? Is there a symbiotic relationship where it's give and take? And you've got to be looking for that. So your success depends on a number of things. First of all, you got to meet your customers' needs. So you got to do that market research. What do your customers need? What are their desires? What are their pain points? What are their challenges? And do you have a service or a product that can fit, right? That can fit what they want and that you bring value and you can actually help that client. So you really, really want to get clear as to knowing who your customer is. So I see this a lot in my career. So just a little bit of background on me. I'm a business coach, facilitator, author, used to do a radio show every week. So I've been working with small business startups for a number of years. And one of the things I get is, oh, I can do business with everybody. And it's like, yeah, can you? That's a really hard task, right? So, you know, my product is terrific or my service is terrific. Everybody will want one. And, you know, the world will be at a path to your door. I wish that was the case. Um, but then, you know, it's really hard to do business with everyone. So many of us have seen, you know, small businesses that try to be all things to all people. And that's really a difficult, if not impossible, bridge to cross. So it's really important to sort of target your market by defining who's going to be my primary customer, right? And that market should be measurable, it should be large enough, and it should be easy for you to reach and get to. So I'm going to give you a little case in point, a little bit of an interesting case study of how niche marketing really works. So let's say you can work with many clients, as we all know. So let's say you own a yoga studio and you can teach yoga to anyone potentially, right? Would you agree? Just blurt out yes or.
Yeah.
All right. So this person I'm going to introduce to you opened a yoga studio, and potentially she could have, you know, sold yoga to kids, to pregnant women, to men, to athletes, whatever, right? But when she opened her studio, it was born out of her own personal journey, her own personal pain, and it was driven by her why. So one of the things for you to really get clear on, and you know, this is a little bit of homework for you to work on over the next, you know, few weeks. You know, what's your why? Author Simon Sinek talks a lot about this in his book. What's your why? Why did you get into this business? What motivated you to do what you're doing today? Did you have a personal pain that you solved and that you want to see fixed? Maybe you want to help someone else fix it, right? Did you have an experience or see a gap maybe in the marketplace, and now you want to help others avoid that same experience or fill the gap in that marketplace? And is your why around a problem you want to solve? And if so, what's that problem? Who do you want to solve it for? And who do you love to work with? Why them? So I'm going to ask you to take out little pen and paper and start writing these answers to these questions for about maybe 3 minutes. Okay, and I'll just button my lip. hard for me to do. Try and answer these briefly, and then homework would be to really work on this. Hi, Ares. Welcome, and welcome to somebody who's got a phone number. You just walked in, so welcome. Whoop.
Thank you.
XO phone number. So just work on this. Get your pen and paper out. Okay, another minute. All right. Let's hear from some of you. Don't be shy today. Why did you get into this business that you're in now, and who'd like to share that answer?
I don't know if you can see me. I tried to sync up my video, but I would volunteer. My name is Hannah.
Okay, yeah, I see your name on there.
Okay, so I'll volunteer.
Thanks.
My business is Elementary Studio, and I run a music studio.
Okay.
So the reason why I wanted to build a music studio was because of the way that I studied music as a kid. And if anyone has studied music here before, similarly, many times when you start learning piano, you get a teacher, and they're most like, I learned with a Russian teacher, so very strict. So I learned it was very boring, it was scary, and it was really stressful. And so that's why I got up to like 8th grade RCM piano. and I ended up becoming a classically trained opera singer. But the reason why I stopped playing piano so much was because I was so scared of piano. So I just really didn't like it so much anymore. So I found the reason why I didn't like it anymore was because of the kind of situation that I was learning in. And I thought, why don't I learn piano, like, you know, change the way that it's taught? Because I still know how to play piano. I still play piano the way I like to play piano.
Mhm.
And later when I was doing my university degree, I started teaching on my own, like with other companies. And then I figured, why can't I just teach on my own? And so this is why I created my own company this year, after kind of settling into my own system of teaching. And so the way that I decided on teaching was with, you know, making music fun, making it easy, making it enjoyable for younger students. You know, everything that I wish that I was, how I was taught, with a level of understanding, with a level of connection, rather than this is wrong, this is incorrect, do it again, kind of thing, right? Because rather than it being, you know, very methodical, robotic in a way.
Right.
And to answer the other question that you had as to why do you love to work with the, like who do you like to work with and why do you like to work with them?
Yeah.
So I personally work with a number of students. So I work with Montessori schools. I also work with younger students. I work with students that are older, like going into high school. I do work with a majority of students that are younger, starting at like 5 years old, going all the way up to 10 years old. But I do love to work with younger students because they're so malleable. They're just sponges. They're full of potential. They're full of energy, and they're so excited to just have anything thrown at them that they're also so excited to just share something with you. And so once you give them something, like give them the correct tools in the right way to, you know, mold them to the people that they should be, you know, that they want to be, it's very exciting to see them flourish as people. So, you know, because that's all that we are, right? So that's why I went into the business. And I felt that every company that I worked with previously kind of missed the mark because whenever I was hired as a teacher, they never really taught me a business model where it's like, oh, teach like this, teach like that. They never told me that. They just said, go teach. And that was it. And I felt like that was missing, you know? So I built my own kind of way of teaching. So it's all on me. So
I really do. And you know, when others on the call, when you hear Hannah share her journey and her pain and how she sort of you know, moved through it, are you inspired? Because I am.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
so much, guys.
Yeah, I am too.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
thank you so much for sharing that. And that's what, you know, looking at your business this way does, right? It really, you know, it really, you've got, yeah, you've just got just sort of a different approach, and you're doing business in a much different way, and now you offer change and something new to others. So I mentioned a yoga studio. So this is Tina Veer, and she's based here in Toronto, and she has a yoga studio, and she could have done business with anybody, as we really thought, and you know, also, Hannah, what I heard is that you have also too in your mind who you really like to work with, and the gift and the knowledge and the experience you want to share with others, so that they don't go through the same sort of pain or challenge you went through.
Yes.
And I think that's really magical.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this talking about, you know, pain and issues and challenges. This is Tina Veer. So Tina is, as you can see, you know, she's a plus size woman. And what happened with Tina was she went to a yoga studio. She loves doing yoga. and she went to a sort of traditional yoga class and felt that she didn't feel good about it. You know, she felt self-conscious. She felt people were kind of staring at her, um, and even the instructor kind of rubbed her the wrong way a little bit. And so she thought this was a really negative experience for me. This is really painful. And she kind of thought maybe because of her body type, right? So she started to call other friends of hers who were plus size women and asked them if this was true for them. Would they have they done yoga in a traditional yoga studio and have they felt maybe this uncomfortable feeling? And almost everybody said yes. And they also said, and she also asked, well, if you could do yoga in a safe, supportive environment, no matter what, you know, body type, would you do it? And they all said, yes, we would, you know, like open it up. So she actually trademarked yoga for round bodies and opened up a yoga studio at DuPont and Christie area called House Salon Health Yoga. And this to me is a true niche success story. So she opened this like over 10 years ago, and again, inspired by her own experience and living and practicing yoga in a round body, and informed her by manual therapy practice and anatomy. Tina now shares yoga with students and teachers in a way that's accessible, sensitive, and safe for all practitioners. So yoga for round bodies uses a restorative, she studied restorative yoga and got certified in restorative yoga. And restorative yoga, just in case you don't know, the postures are done on the floor. The body movements are done on the floor, which if you're a plus size woman, that's a lot less taxing on your joints and muscles. You're not standing and doing those, you know, standing poses, which, you know, I don't know about you. I think I got stuck in one once. Right? So, and that kind of hurt. So she developed yoga for round bodies, and what happened next was unbelievable. Her classes are always full. She's now 10 years later, she's trademarked yoga for round bodies, and not only does she make money off of her classes, and by the way, she's also a massage therapist. She rents out her space to other alternative healthcare practitioners. She's never went for funding or financing. It was all self-supported. And then now, years later, she's licensing yoga for round bodies to other yoga practitioners to tap into the plus size women's market. And she owns that market. She's now like the go-to expert. As a matter of fact, the media, if they want to do an interview with somebody about issues and self-esteem issues that plus size women have, they go to Tina Veer because she's now so well known in this sort of niche that she's deemed as the expert. And that's kind of a critical piece to why you want to maybe niche, because it'll help you position yourself as an expert in what you do. Siobhan, do you have a question? Like, because I'm noticing you wanting to.
No.
Okay. And Layla, I hope you can hear us. So it's really important, you know, for you to get clear. And, you know, who's that ideal client or target market? And that's where your market research is really important. So, you know, don't dismiss the importance of market research. I like to go actually, you know, to a place like the Vaughan Business Enterprise Center, maybe use the resources that they have, the Resource Center. I like to tap into the Economic Development Office and get statistical information about my potential market, or go to the library and look up Scott's directory and figure out, okay, who are my clients going to be? So your research will help you uncover who your ideal client profile is and who your niche is and what it is you need to do in order to get business, in order to offer your prospective client base the services and the products that they need that are going to help them. So really important for you to get clear. So what do you, in terms of understanding your customers and getting clear on your customers, let's take this up collectively. Can you come up with 7 critical things you want to know about your customer? And let's have a few minutes to discuss it. What are 7 critical pieces that you want to know about your customer? Who'd like to chime in? Oh, I went too far.
I'll chime in, David.
Thanks. Thanks. Go ahead, Ann.
I I see the main critical thing with my customers is what their pain is.
Okay. And who else? Any other critical things you want to know about your customers?
Something that I would need to know is their location,
Right?
because
What little feedback there?
Ooh,
I currently provide a service so that I come to you to teach. So all of my instruments, I can bring them to your home if needed. So I need to know if you're in my driving range. So I need to know where you guys are located, kind of thing.
Right. I got you. Okay. Good. So you need to know where they are, what the location is, because you know you got to know what to bring and how much to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other things you want to know about your customers that will help you serve them in a more profound, more compelling way? And welcome, Justin. I noticed you just signed in. Anything else you want to know?
What they're looking for.
Yeah. What are they looking for? When might they buy?
what their needs are.
Yeah. What their needs are. Any challenges they have.
Mhm.
What's the challenge costing, right? Little
Yeah.
things like that you really want to get clear on. So one of the things I do, and this is more a sales training piece, is I actually, when I meet with a customer for the first time, I go in there with questions to ask that customer so that I get really clear as to what they're about, what they need, and whether or not we can even work together. And that really helps. So the more you know about your customer, the more you can serve them in a more profound, more compelling, more interesting way. You're not just coming at it saying, hey, we're a really good company and we do this. You're coming at it saying, hey, we understand this might be an issue you're going through. We have a way to solve it, you know, and we've developed a methodology that I think you're going to like. So similar to what you're doing, Hannah, you've identified a key problem that you face that probably other, you know, people who want to study music and piano have experienced. So you're making it fun, enjoyable, relaxing, creative to take music, and that is a very different way than what you were taught. So you bring that to the table, and I think that's what you really need to know is like what's going on in your customer's world, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I had a good colleague of mine. He's a marketing consultant. His name is Tom St. Louis, and he taught me this lesson a long time ago. And he said, get into your customer's shoes, right? And as business owners, especially new business owners, it's all about us. Hey, we're opening. It's great. We're excited. Get into how your customer is thinking. Get into their shoes. You know, love your customer. Don't love what it is you do, right? Any comments, questions? All right. So
Absolutely.
go ahead.
I agree with that very much, and I see that people opening a new business are often overwhelmed. So I step in as a good help, a big help.
Yeah. Thanks, Ann. Thanks. Yeah. Sort of fall in love with your customer, not yourself. It's really important, right? Get into your customer's mind prior to them making a buying decision. Think of what's going on for them. So my friend Tom used to, he made a boatload of money back in the day when Yellow Pages were really big. Now Yellow Pages, I don't even think we get them anymore now. But if you do get one, they make a really good stool for your kids, your young kids.
That's hilarious.
Or a good doorstop. Anyway, so he used to write commercials and do ads for businesses in the Yellow Pages. And he would get into the mind of what's going on with a customer the minute they're looking online or through the Yellow Pages for a supplier. So I'll give you an example. let's say it was a divorce lawyer. So when you're going to the yellow pages to look for a divorce lawyer, what are some of your concerns or challenges or issues that you're facing so badly that you need to consult with a divorce lawyer? Any ideas?
To get a divorce, to have a good divorce, in a
Yeah.
sense, like, you know, the proper reparations, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Yeah, to have a good divorce, like not
messy.
Yeah, not messy, and not where there's animosity.
Yeah.
That will bring the cost of court and the legal process up if it's really not nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
What, any other issues?
Like if it takes a long time, if it has to go to court, if it, you know, like it gets, there's a lot of paperwork that is involved if you have to separate with someone.
Yes. Yeah. Watching the paperwork, the time, are the best interests of the kids, you know, is at stake. So what this law firm did, and the Yellow Pages people hated it, they took out a full page ad in the Yellow Pages that looked like an article in a magazine. And the headline said, here, if you're getting a divorce, if you're, you know, here looking up this ad, here are the 5 things you need to know about getting a divorce before you even should consult a lawyer. So they educated the buyer as to what they should be looking for. And if they're not getting it from another lawyer, call us. We'd love to talk to you, right? You know, so again, reducing the cost, reducing the time, you know, making sure everybody's well taken care of and it's fair, and that it's not, you know, you're not, it's not a messy divorce, so it won't, you know, add to your court and legal fees, right? So it was an article about, here are the 5 things you need to know before you even, you know, should consult a lawyer. And so it educated the person reading it, and boy, did that ad ever look a lot different. So, you know, that's a strategy I'm going to encourage that you take into your own business. Okay, maybe we're not doing Yellow Page ads anymore, but, you know, maybe it's a social media post. Maybe it's a sales letter to a potential client, right? Take that kind of strategy, educating the client or the buyer as to what they need to know before they, you know, make a decision. Understand them. Yeah. Okay, I got a question in the chat room. And no, maybe not. Whoop. Okay. It was beeping. Oh, Paula, would you be? Yes, I can share the slides after. So not a problem. Okay. So yeah, this kind of first of all, asking questions, getting to know your clients, really important. This is the start of doing a good market research survey. So you want to know your clients' challenges and pain and problems, and what's that costing them by not taking an action, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do they want to fix this issue? What are your clients' goals, hopes, and dreams? What are their budgets? You know, do they even have a budget? I'd like to know that. That would be an ideal client if they have money. Are they doing anything to currently solve the challenge? Are they working with somebody now? Are they happy with who they're working with? Are they open to an alternative supplier or vendor? And if so, like, or how happy are they with their current vendor? And would they be open to maybe a second opinion or an extra pair of eyes, right? And then what's the outcome? What's the goal that your client wants to achieve? So really important. Yeah, any other questions? No. Okay, let's move forward. Just for the sake of time, I'm trying to get you in and out in an hour. All right. So we want to start to look for our ideal niche, right? Where can it be? Where can I find it? And where can I find them? So I've given you some tips and tools. Look at your own life, your own pain, your own experience. You know, figure out like, oh, who do I really like to work with? What kind of client do I like? You know, Hannah, in your case, it was young children who were open and fun and creative, and they want to, you know, enjoy this, right? And you want to help them enjoy the learning. So that's really valuable. So the first place to also look to discover your niche market is really to determine like where you fit in this world, right? What kind of business are you? What's your business model? So are you a consumer market? Are you a what we call business to consumer, where you're selling to homeowners, consumers? Usually consumer products are things you buy at the grocery store, the drugstore, clothing, things like that. Is that who you're calling on? Or are you an industrial, B2B, business to business? Are you selling to individuals, groups, or organizations that purchase your products so that they can make money and do what they need to do to further themselves? Or are you in the reseller market? Are you a middleman? Or are you going to have an agency that you're working with? Are you a wholesaler? You know, like, for example, GM, they don't sell cars to you, they sell cars to their dealers, and then the dealers sell to you. So first of all, determine where you are in the big scheme of things. Because if you're business to business, your whole marketing strategy and your niche marketing strategy is going to be very different than if you're business to consumer, right? So just really get clear as to where you fit in that category. So for example, if you are a B2B, you know, what I encourage you to do is identify the kinds of businesses that you groove with. What industry sectors, sizes of companies do you want to work with? Maybe you want to work in the high-tech sector. Maybe you want to work with emerging technology. Maybe you want to work in the fintech sector, the financial technology sector. Who do you like? Who do you know? What knowledge can you bring to certain industry types? So it's really important that you get clear as to, okay, who do I want to work with? What industry sectors do I want to work with? And then have you had experience within that industry sector, so that when you're calling on companies in a certain industrial sector, you're coming to them more from a knowledge base rather than selling how good and how great your services and products are. You're coming at it like, hey, I've got experience in this sector. I've got ideas I think that might be able to help you. So Hannah, you asked, which group would you consider your company fits into?
Mm-hmm.
I you know, that's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be, you know, parents of young families. Really. Yeah.
That's what I sell to, really, when I market my ads as well.
Mm-hmm. So young, you know, new families, you know, millennials who are starting to marry and have kids, right? Yeah. Also, schools. Another potential is joint ventures with maybe there's an art school, and you can team up with them, and they can offer their clients art and music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another potential for you to reach your market.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So really, really important that if you want to focus on sort of an industrial business to business market, where do you like? Who do you like to deal with? Where's your fit? And I'll give you Pamela asked a question from previous slides. Yeah, Pamela asked, how would you, so what I'm doing, guys, is I'm reading the chat board here. How would I recommend going about doing market research? Should you hire a company to do it? And is it okay to make phone calls to the target market ourselves? Yes, it's okay on everything. However, I think, Pamela, if you can do your own market research, that would be ideal. However, let's say you want to do a market research calls, right, to prospective buyers. You might want to hire maybe a student or a colleague to make those calls, but you're going to have to prepare the survey and really get clear as to what you want to find out in terms of the information from your prospective clients. So I really recommend actually that you do the research yourself, but yes, it's okay to hire too. And if you're looking, if money's kind of tight, you can maybe tap into some of the community colleges or high schools that have business programs, and maybe they want experience, real life experience. So that's another way to sort of maybe get the help you need However, I like to do my own market research. What I do though, Pamela, is I budget time for it. So I don't want it to take up every waking minute of every day, because it's not really time. It's well spent, but it doesn't demand that much time. So what I used to do is, like, Monday mornings, when it's a bit of a dead zone in terms of client meetings and calling clients, because it's like the start of the week and people are just coming off the weekend mode. What I would do is I would maybe reserve Monday morning, and I would have market research Mondays. And so I would do it Monday morning. And, I'd go to a library and look up maybe Scott's Directory, or I'd go to, maybe the Economic Development Office in Vaughan and talk to them and get information about the market, or talk to trade associations about the industries that you want to call on, right? So that kind of thing. But it is important, and it's really should be an ongoing process, because you're always learning. One thing we're guaranteed of in this day and age in this marketplace is change, like immense change going on, and you want to be on the forefront and cutting edge of that change. I hope that answers your question. So business to business. I mean, look at this, right? So why am I showing this? So I